Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today we're going to be continuing our pulley kind of design, but instead instead of working on the pulley model right now, we're actually going to be doing something a little different, which is making test prints, or at least parts that I can make test prints of. These parts are incredibly simple little things that are going to test clearances and stuff and find the right sizes, and how much we actually have to adjust on the models. These prints, of course, will all be printed off my printer, and we're going to be starting by making a simple pin. And to do so, we just go collinear, and I'm just going to go simply just symmetric here, and then we're going to go, I'll do distance there. This thing will be about, I'm going to say about ½ inch tall, and then its diameter is going to be ½ inch diameter. And that's basically what it's going to look like. I might actually, yeah, we're fine actually. Do a boss extrude real quick. Okay, and we will basically print this out, and we're going to actually make a new part, rebuild it, and save it as test parts. We're going to call this thing pin. We're 0.5 inch because there's already a pin 0.5, so we'll do 0.5 inch. And we're going to be making its new part. Same thing here, except we're going to be making this thing more of a hole. A little bit more involved in the designing of this one. These will have several variants of, we'll be printing not just one, but probably like 3 different ones with 3 different sizes. This one's drawn as this one's going to be simple like that. Select these lines, make these guys symmetric. Come on, symmetric. And then these guys will actually be different. This will not be ½ inch. I'm going to make this 0.25. We'll see what that looks like. I want its inner diameter to be right now 0.5. It'll be ½ inch. And then outer diameter, I'm going to say not 0.5. Can't do 0.5. How about 0.6? So the wall will be 0.1 thick. So what we could do with this as well is also test thicknesses and stuff. I need to find out some thicknesses. So test prints are pretty easy to do. So we have this little ring here. We'll call it a ring. So right now it's the exact size, so the pin will not fit, but we will call this I'll just rename the entire thing. So your ring underscore 0.5 inch. Okay, and we'll adjust it accordingly. So we're going to actually go change its sketch. The inner diameter will be changed to 0.5. We'll do 5.2. Start out with 5.2. And I'm actually going to change the diameter of this and actually just select the wall instead to be 0.1. For now, we'll do 0.1. And that'll be 0.52. Build, save. And then we're going to go and make a new part. This part's going to be a little more complicated. So there's a new part. Another new part. This one, I said, It's going to be a little more complicated because it's going to be, well, on the front plane. It'll be here on the front plane as normal. But unlike the other projects we have here, this one isn't going to be, I want it to be horizontal. And what, is that horizontal? Pretty sure these are horizontal, right? Oh, this isn't vertical. Okay, I was wondering what's wrong with it. It's not vertical. So let's go move that there, this here, like so. We get ourselves, we'll do it this way. So that'll become collinear, and I want that. I want collinear, actually. So, actually, let's just remove the square for now. Just put the square down, and we'll make it collinear. This edge here, that'll become collinear with this. And then these two will become symmetric. Symmetric. These will be mated to 0.05 inches. This will be, I'm going to approximate probably 2 inches long. So it's going to be this kind of simple looking thing. I don't want to have the dimension tool on. I just want to grab the point, drag these 2 points out, drag this one up, put more towards the front here. And now, this is going to be a test of wall thicknesses. So what we do is we take a line here, another line here, and this will get subsequently bigger and smaller as we go on. So I'll have 6 different wall thicknesses I will test. Alright, so what we do is we first select this line to become collinear. Then we get our trim entities tool, click it as many times as it's going to take to get rid of it, and then just keep doing the same thing. Actually, I'm going to try something out, see if I can do this. Can I make these all collinear? Yeah, alright, so that works collinear, okay. I don't know what that little dotted line is, but I think it's got to be something like that, right? So these things will be completely arbitrary on where they're placed. So right, this first one is going to be 0.05. That's the thickness I want to test out. This will become 0.1. This one is 0.15. Actually might change these up a little bit. Actually, I'm going to make this one exactly 0.5. That will be not 0.5. This will be 0.1, actually. It was 0.1 on that one. This will become 0.05. This one will become 0.01. Okay, that should be over here, actually. I'm going to have to figure this out real quick of what I really want to do. These are basically going to be printed upwards. They'll be kind of extruded out a little bit. And I want to know my printer's abilities. So that's how you do these tests on them. These massive, just off the wall. 0.03. This one I'm actually have high hopes for because it'll be thin, but not too thin. I think this was my very, very original single piece pulley base was based on that. So this will be 0.05. If right here will be 0.25, right? No, 2.5 would be quarter inch. I don't want a quarter inch. I want to know, how about 0.7? Alright, so what we can do now is zoom into this line here. We can make them all collinear real quick. All collinear, alright. And then we get ourselves a dimension tool. And they'll be about I'm going to put income 1 inch high. That's not an inch. That's the opposite of an inch. Well, not the opposite of an inch. The opposite of an inch would be something else. Distances. I don't want the printer head to have a problem printing these things, so I'm going to do it 0.2. Maybe 0.25. 2.5 on all of them. At least these guys here. The one in the middle, I don't know how far we're going to do that. They're like almost there anyway. This one's the only really close one. 25. And then we can probably be 0.3. Okay, actually, what if we did 0.25 on that? How about 0.15? There. Kind of puts it in the middle. So this is surprisingly fully defined, and then we go extrude it. So the reason I want to do this one, I might want to move this guy a little bit farther over, because if he, like, as I use the term bird nest, it's going to be very detrimental if he bird nests, and it'll affect the prints of these guys. So I'm actually going to do a change here. Sketch this guy. His distance is actually going to be 0.35 farther over. I have high hopes for this one successfully working. This one I'm not. So actually, let's do 0.4 actually, because I'm really nervous about that one. This one I'm going to do. This one will be 0.3 actually. Yeah, that will be 0.3. These guys are fine. This one definitely will work. This one most likely, and it just goes down all the way down that one. So this is a thickness test, I would call it. I don't know what else I would call it. That's what this is. It kind of looks like a heat sink or something, but no, it's a other test. This would be called the wall test. Wall test, and we'll do 0.1 inch through 0.5 inch. It's a wall test. Alright, so what's another test I need to learn about? Probably because we have the pin going through the pulley. That's the pin and the ring. This is the wall thickness, like the base and everything. But there needs to be another test of trying to fit something. I'm going to actually open it up right now to explain what I'm talking about. It wouldn't be, where are you? Pulley 2. The distances between the pulley base, right? You see this part here between this and this wall. I need to test that to see how close I can get it. And once we get that done, we should be able to start printing, and we'll probably show that next video of the printing process as well as my other stuff. I want to actually open up the test part thing. Keep that open actually. No, I don't want home. I want to go new part, and we're actually gonna go make ourselves a little bit of another thing, a little bit weirder. It's gonna be like a simplified pulley base, like a stupidly simplified pulley base, like no supports, just like looks like a U shape. That's all we're gonna do. Now I click the line, I want the origin. I have plenty of filament. I'll probably crack open my the black filament I have, because I said I was going to use white filament as like a test filament, but I used quite a bit of it, I think. I don't know what's even in my printer right now. My printer currently is containing blue. The white filament I haven't used. I'm using PLA, but I think it's like the proprietary Dremel PLA. The Dremel printer is okay, in my opinion. It's not super duper like accurate. I don't think anyone would recommend you buying it. Like, I certainly wouldn't really recommend anyone buy the printer. It's not like a waste of money. It's a good like starter printer. At least it has a bunch of like somewhat premium features in it. Compared to its price, I think it's $800.
It's over $1,000, I think. But it has like almost auto adjusting. Like it will like do a little scan, and then it's got the ability to print a whole bunch of different file formats. So it's a good printer if you're just wanting to get into the printing thing, into 3D printing yourself. I don't recommend it for if you want something really, really, really advanced, because that's not the kind of printer it is, and that's pretty much it about it. My uh, ideas of it. So let's go 0.1 because I'm very certain about 0.1, and this one will make it 0.5. Actually, half inch. Let's stick with 0.25 actually. Distances between that and height 1 inch. This is a very, very, very simplistic, very just kind of strange U-shaped thing. I'm gonna make less than an inch. I'll do 0.5. 0.5. This thing is gonna be a slot test. This is the slot. I'm gonna actually make like a cube, like a little cube, little card that slides into here as part of a test. Now, to say that these will be used in other projects is to say that I don't know. We'll call it a slot. This will be slot half inch. Yeah. No, it's 2 point. It's 0.2. 0.25 inch. And we will make its slot the card. We're just going to call it a card, actually. I'm just going to call it a card because it looks like a credit card reader. So this is really, really simple. We're just going to make like an inch by inch and a half cube. That's only going to be like a quarter inch thick. It's going to be kind of useless. All these parts are going to be quite useless, but yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll make a sculpture out of them or something. I just gotta find what glue people like to use on this stuff. Like, what's the most effective glue? And I'll probably use some of that. So we make that symmetric as well. Simple cube. I don't know what happened, but it's not. It looks white. I don't know why it looks so white. This will be inch and a half long. I said inch and a half long, not half inch long. Like in here's white. It's usually gray. No idea why it's not. But it's not. It doesn't bother me. It's working. It's functioning perfectly fine. This is 0.25. Yeah. For the sake of the test, these parts here, these cards, as we will call them, card underscore 0.5 inch. These will be the ones that change. Normally, I would change the size of like the ring, or like I'll change the rings. I'll probably print multiple rings, but I won't print multiple slots because they're so massive. This one's about the right size, I think. I think if we make it less than an inch and a half, just back to 0.5 actually. It won't look like a card, it'll look like a cube, but whatever, we'll just still call it a card. Because these things are smaller, cheaper to make, cheaper to print, and overall will be a lot better. So let's see what we got here. So we have ourselves, back to the beginning, the pin. The pin will fit into this ring here. We'll make multiple rings, multiple adjustments. I'll make several of these. Obviously, we'll have like a whole slew of different prints. We have our wall test. That doesn't go with anything. We have our slot test, and our card, and that's what we'll have here. These are all going to be functioning. These are all based on the pulley. These are like pulley piece tests, right? These are pulley just test parts, and because I want to make them really, really small, but big enough for me to handle them and manipulate them, we should be able to print this stuff out. And obviously, these will help me in other other areas of different projects now that I know the sizes and the shapes and stuff. Because what I want to figure out is having this one here will help me determine how to make something free spin, but then have something fixed with a pin. And the same thing here. This will be a wall thickness that will find out what the thinnest I can get my printer to print at. I don't think it's this, that's why I put it so far away from all these guys, but I want to see what the thinnest I can get within reason, not like, I could go 3-place decimal even, but this is already 3-place decimal, I think. No, it's 2-place decimal. That's 2-place decimal. Because 3-place decimal would be 0.125. This is at 0.01, I think. Yeah, it's at 0.01. I totally messed up on the name. It's supposed to be 0.01 to 0.1. That's how thick this is. This here is going to be useful for when you try to put something in between and you don't want it to get stuck. It's basically the same as this, but without rounded parts, without round parts. So we're going to adjust these things off camera. So for the next video, we'll have them all printed out. I'll show you how they all fit together. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you next time.